Front row of the grid for Prefinal A, KZ2. And we race super start from Simo. U-Haul just does recover. It looks as though he will be into second place just under immense pressure from Danilo Albanese, Riccardo Longhi and Stan Pax in car 25. The Bureau Arts right there, Giuseppe Palomba and Riccardo Longhi. U-Haul is in second place as they go so defensive into the hairpin on the first lap of 16 here this morning on a glorious morning at Adria Karting Raceway. Simo Puhaka has the race lead. From U-Haul, it is still finished drivers in first and second place. There's the Bureau Arts going through. The CRGs also making their season debut in WSK competition, including the reigning world champion, Jeremy Iglesias, in kart 64, his new teammate, Pavel Tontari. Iglesias, as ever, a brilliant start from Jeremy the Jet. He's up into 8th place as we now have a new race leader. The Finns trade positions. It's U-Haul from Simo. Danilo Albanese into 3rd place. The Kart Republics run 1. I was going to say 1, 3, 4 there now. 1, 2, 3. Albanese and Stan Pax go by the pole sitter Puhaka. Simo back to 4th. And then the Bureau Arts right behind him of Giuseppe Palomba. And also Riccardo Longhi. Palomba is number 60. Longhi, the vice world champion of the world, obviously in 2019, in kart 58. Under the bridge they go, so the new race leader still is from Finland, but his name is Juha Valtonen Albanese from Tuscany, or Bellissima Toscana. Number 22 in second, there's Stan in P3. It is a Kart Republic 1, 2, 3 here this morning. There's Simo being hassled by Longhi and Palomba. Jeremy Iglesias, we're about to get our first glimpse of the French driver, the newly crowned world champion for the CRG team, as Longhi goes down the inside. Puhaka is struggling. There is Jeremy in the black and orange CRG kart 64 on the charge here this morning. Had a big crash in one of the heats yesterday with Stan Pax. Going into turn 3, Stan continued on, was issued with a warning from the stewards. Jeremy, he was out. So that's cost him a few places on the grid here this morning for the pre-final. But Jeremy is already up into 6th place. The Bureau Arts go through. Palomba and Longhi. Also a good start from another red and white machine, Valentino Fritsch, behind Danilo Vasile and Giuseppe Fusco in the Lenzo kart. There is Il Napolitano in the final qualifying position at the moment. Simo back into 7th place. There's Jeremy, kart 64 in the CRG. Longhi ahead, then it's Palomba, as Valtonen is about to be attacked by Danilo Albanese. 24 is U-Haul, 22 is Danilo. Stan in P3, the Dutch driver for SP Racing. Simo going through from Marsiglia, Van Oppen. Number 2, the Dutch driver in the Charles Leclerc Lennox racing kart. Tontari, Piccini's in P11. Jorge Pescador, also a new signing. He's the Argentine for the CRG team. Joey Van Splunteren, Daniel Vasile from Pitești, Romania in the Modena Power DR kart. Rosati, Fritsch and Fusco still in the final qualifying position. Semuluye for the Dell Motorsport team needs to move up at least 1 position to make it through to the final this afternoon. Still more than half of the race remaining. So there's Simo Puhaka as the field go through. The 2 CRG drivers, Tontari and Pescador, race amongst themselves. Tontari 67, Pescador 65. Joey Van Splunteren from Rotterdam in the Netherlands in the 11E Energy kart. He's in position 13 ahead of Vasile and Rosati for the SRP Maranello racing team. Kart Republic still go 1, 2, 3, but the reigning, actually that's not correct. I was going to say the reigning World Championship winning team, but it's not 2020. That was in 2019. when Moraine Kramers led home Ricardo Longhi for a 1-2 at Lonato almost 2 years ago now. The Birolars, regardless, they're looking good in 4th and 5th place. The Kart Republics, they're 1st, 2nd and 3rd. It is U-Haul from Danilo and Stan. Simon tries to fight back. As Longhi goes by Stan Pex. Into 3rd place now in the Birolat. So here come the team from Lissone. Stan from the Netherlands back to P4. Jeremy is behind him. The reigning world champion won the title with Formula K, signed for CRG for 2021, along with the likes of Jorge Pescador, Pavo Tontori. Big effort from the CRG team from 2021, all throughout the categories, 60 Mini, Junior, OK, and of course KZ2. Jorge back in 11th place. So U-Haul with the fastest lap of the race. He's the race leader. There is Pescador. Just ahead of Joey van Splunteren in the energy kart. And Laurens van Hoppen, kart 2. The young Dutch driver, 15 years of age, in position 9 ahead of Alessio Piccini. As we pass half race distance, pre-final A, KZ2, the WSK Supermaster Series, a 47.7 for Juha Valtonen. Longhi, can he catch the KRs going 1st and 2nd? There is Ricardo. There's Jeremy under attack from Giuseppe Palomba. We race at Giuseppe's home circuit in 1 month's time for the 3rd round of the WSK Supermaster Series. That is the all-new layout of Sarno, Circuito Internazionale Napoli. That's Simo on the inside of is Puhaka of Palumba that we just spoke of. He goes backwards. Past half race distance now. Valtonen, another fastest lap of 47.750. Albanese still sits there in 2nd place. Final qualifying position at the moment, still Giuseppe Fusco, Samuel Loe, Marcos Funda, Tom Luyer, Christian Haberlin, Lorenzo Resico need to move up. At the moment, they won't qualify it. Neither will Satuno from Thailand. Kasper, Nadolski, Chevritalov, Janssen, Justin van der Schaft, for the KSW Birolat Racing Team. Down in 27th ahead of Torreggiani, Comanducci, Knopp, Karl Lukaszewski. And the final runner at the moment is the Spaniard, the Catalan, Denny Ferrer. 6 laps now remaining. Valtonen again, a purple time for the Finn. 47.753, his countryman who started on pole position. The reigning champion, there is Simo, back in 6th place. He's behind Iglesias, ahead of Leonardo Marcella. Leonardo in the 26 Kart Republic. It wasn't so long ago that we saw Leonardo Marcella racing WSK competition in the 60 Mini category. Well, maybe it was a few years ago. It seems like yesterday, but now he's comfortably in the top 10. Comes onto your screen briefly. There's Leonardo Marcella from Bari in the south of Italy. He's in the top 10 in 7th place. Pre-final A for KZ2 here this morning. Joey van Splunteren still doing a good job. Quite a sedate pre-final here this morning. The final this afternoon, yeah, that will be a little bit different. The first round of the Supermaster Series. And of course, we go to La Conca Muro Lucchese World Circuit in 2 weeks' time. The all-new Sano and all-new layout for the circuit. Circuito Internazionale Napoli at the foot of the still active volcano that is Mount Vesuvius outside Naples. And then we're back to the center of the karting universe. South Garda Karting Lonato, April 25 for round 4 of the WSK Supermaster Series, and that's before the WSK Euro Series gets underway for 2021. Valtonen, Albanese, Ricardo Longhi, there's Jeremy going through. in kart 64 from Simo, the pole sitter. The Tony Kart, the reigning WSK Supermasters Series champion. A championship that has former winners, the likes of Bas Lemmers, Marco Ardigo, who have both won it multiple times. Marco something like 5 times. Paulo de Conto, the first winner of KZ2 was Betsky Visser from the Netherlands. The W Series LMP2 driver these days. Betsky won it aboard an Intrepid back in 2010. Max, he won it in 2013 in a CRG. And last year it was Simo Puhaka. In 2019, Bas Lemmers in the Sodi kart. We'll see Bas in action in pre-final B in a few moments' time as we tick down the laps. Here this morning, a glorious morning at Adria Raceway. This is Juho, third ever KZ2 race on the podium last week, on the podium in his first race, which was also here at Adria, the WSK Open Cup, to finish 2020. He had 1 day of testing in damp conditions prior to arriving at Adria. This is how a gearbox works, Juho. And in typical Finnish style, no problem. And put the kart on on the podium in his first ever KZ2 race. Nice move by Jorge Pescador to go by Lottes van Hoppen. So Jorge now up into 10th place. Lottes, LVH in the Lennox Racing Leclerc goes back to 11, still looking comfortable to qualify. The final position now is Fabrizio Rosati, the SRP Racing Maranello kart. As Juho gets the last lap board, he's done fastest lap after fastest lap. A 47.6, the fastest lap of the race for Juho. He's got 0.8 of a second back to Danilo Albanese. It's a Kart Republic 1-2. Ricardo in third place at the moment. The final lap of pre-final A. KZ2, the WSK Supermaster Series there to Birolas in the background. Piccini in 8. His first race with the Birolas team after so many years in OTK colours. Palomba just behind, and Pescador in P10 with that pass on Lottes just a few moments ago. The last lap, the last few corners for Juho, it was his countryman Simo who started on pole position. Juho out of grid 2, slows it down through the chicane, comes across the line, and Juho Valtonen will start on the front row of the grid for the final later this afternoon. Albanese second, Longy third for the Birolas team, splits the Kart Republics. Stan in P4 and the pole sitter, the reigning champion, Simo Puhaka in the Tony Kart, position 5.